Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez Gaming Experience, part number 18 of the Pokemon Emerald walkthrough. First off, taking a look here, we got ourselves some brand new moves. We taught Dig to Trapinch, and we taught Theft to Sableye. Took off Knockoff for Theft because even though it doesn't guarantee getting rid of the held item, or in this case, stealing it for ourselves, does a little bit more damage, and so, you know, I try to aim for more damage than anything else because at the end of the day, a lot of this isn't really all that difficult to go through, and it's not like the held items that our opponents are going to be using are going to be that fatal for us in the long run. I'd much rather just go for the 1-2 knockout punch. And with that, we'd give ourselves a little bit of a surf to go north of route number 115. We're still on route number 115, but now we're a little bit on the north end of it ever since we learned surf. With that comes a bunch of double battles that we can do. Or in this case, the one double battle that almost made Frosty lose his entire mind. These two drove me insane at trying to get the double battle with them. So basically, let me frame how I do these videos, okay? Like, without going too much into it. But even though this is post commentary, and I got on my way to edit out a lot of the wild encounters and other stuff that doesn't really, you know, to me doesn't add anything to what is basically a guide of Pokemon. Because of that, you know, you would think that, oh, I'm just going to edit out everything possible. But I don't, okay? I usually go with whatever the first run is, even if something catastrophic happens. You know, because it's like, oh, I just want to, you know, showcase and still have fun. You know, I want it to be as live as possible without it being fully live. Now, sometimes we have some technical hiccups here and there, or I just flat out lose. If you go back to my first ever Pokemon walkthrough with Pokemon Gold, if you go to the one, I can't remember what number it is, but I lose my mind in the very beginning because my Pokemon weren't strong enough to go against the gym leader Chuck at the time, and every single time I tried to record going against him, I would lose and lose and lose outright. It was really bad because it was a flat out loss, you know, the most catastrophic thing that could really happen and didn't add anything to the video. It kind of drove me a little bit insane, you know, to the point where I had to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until I finally got the one where I could do it, and then I did the audio recording for it afterwards. But I told you guys immediately that things were not going right. You know, other than that, again, some technical issues may happen, you know, just things here and there that could potentially happen to, you know, make a video process, you know, make it not really work. So far that hasn't happened, except for trying to go against these two damn trainers. The whole point of trying to get across here, folks, is that it took me 5 separate recording sessions to finally go against these two in a double battle. Now, what's really funny about that is during my test playthrough, because I didn't know about this area whatsoever, you know, in my original playing way back in high school. I didn't know about this area. Found out about it, I'm like, cool, let's go ahead and showcase that off. Saw them running around, I was like, okay, yeah, I can duo battle them, I just have to time it right. Boom, got it, no problem. Then I go through the recording process, and it took me 5 attempts to finally get them in a duo battle. Now, I know that in some cases that might be like, well, what would it matter if you win against them one at a time? And the answer is, well, nothing. I could have gone against them one at a time. I just didn't want to. I really wanted to go against them in a double battle. So really, if nothing else, you know, it took me so many attempts to get this recorded just so I could do that double battle. Some points to where I would go against the current trainers that I'm going against right now, there was 2 recording sessions where I would go against them first, and then after beating them, attempt to go against the other 2, only run into one of them and not the other, and that's what really almost drove me insane. Because for some reason I thought, hey, it'd be a good idea to go against these 2 first, making the recording process longer for then it to fail. And so I finally, it drove me insane. And that's why there was that little bit of a cut clip there, because I wanted to make damn sure that I ran into them. And I literally stood there for, I want to say, 2 minutes to wait for the perfect opportunity for him to line up. Basically, the thing I realized that you need to aim for is with the karate guy running back and forth. You want to go down and get in screen and noticed by the jogger female south of you when the karate dude is, I believe it's 3 squares away, or the second tree to the right from where you're at. If you can time that well, like if you see that he's coming and you know that in 2 steps he will be at that one tree, it feels like the jogger from the bottom, if she starts low enough, will be able to spot you to get that double battle going. But again, I had 5 different attempts and failed all 5 of them. And it almost made me go, you know what, forget it. I will just go against someone at a time. You know, but I don't know. There was something in me that just said, no, this has to be a double battle. I will make it a double battle, I swear. So far in all of Emerald, including Gen 1. Gen 1, I didn't really have any recording issues that I had to. No, I think there was that one time where I did have to record something over again. I don't remember what the reasoning for it was, but that was more of an audio. Oh yeah, it's because... It's because I did the audio recording, but I forgot to hit record. So I had to go back and redo it again. So yeah, so Gen 1 didn't have any issues whatsoever. Gen 2 had that one issue where Chuck just kept beating me, and I had to keep going until I finally got it. So far, everything's been going relatively smoothly recording-wise for me. Up until this part, and even then it had nothing to do with the battles, it was trying to get a specific battle and just having a lot of problems with doing that. But with that, yeah, you get a little bit of a background on how these are done, or at least the way that I choose to do them, because obviously when it comes to something like a post-recording, it's like, oh, they're just going to keep going until, you know, they get the perfect run. And that's why sometimes people don't like, you know, post-commentary Let's Plays. And I can't blame them for that, because then sometimes you kind of make it a little bit falsified in a way. But I don't like doing that. You know, if I mess up, then I mess up, you know, but if it's a mess up that can be avoided, or something that I just really want to do, I really wanted to do a double battle against them. That's like the whole point. I really did. You know, was it necessary? No, but I don't know. I still wanted to do it. Like, come on now. And oh boy, and the other thing, you know, it doesn't get any better from there. This is actually the absolute worst recording that I've had to do part-wise for Pokemon Emerald so far. I only get 1 set of luck, and that's actually with this current battle, which I will go into in a bit. But yeah, no, that wasn't the only, like, that wasn't the only fuck up, really. You know, I had another instance later on where just, you're gonna see me getting lost and running all over the place for no reason, and it just gets really horrible. Like, it's not a good part. There's a lot of things to show, but it's not a good part. Now, the other thing that I should probably mention is that I'm not really doing a lot of exploration like I thought I was going to, because I remembered there was something else that I could do. So I'm doing this something else first, and then I'll do exploration. So here's where I get a little bit lucky. This is where it all kind of evens out for me. Ninjask has used, I think, 2, now 3 double teams. So his evasion rating is insane, and Blaze Kick only has a 9% chance to hit. And yet I still managed to hit it. So not only did I have a lower chance accuracy of hitting to begin with, we also add in 3 double teams by Ninjask. And if it didn't work, like I told myself this, I was like, alright, so if Blaziken misses this, I'll just send in Sableye and do a double feint attack with him and Trapinch, because they're guaranteed to hit. But I ended up getting super lucky, getting the Blaze Kick, followed by the dig on a poison type. And that was like the only thing that went right for me in this recording. Everything else just kept going insane. And because, see, and this is where, you know, this kind of proves that, okay, yeah, sometimes I mess up to the point where I do restart a recording, and sometimes they're like really small things or a technical problem. But, you know, later on in this part, you're going to see me get lost and do a couple wrong things to where I would love to say, no, forget it. I'm going to go back and retry this because this just looks stupid. But nope, instead I'm like, you know what? It looks stupid because I am being stupid. So therefore, it will stay. And along with some other, you know, unlucky issues. And again, this will be further explained once we get into it. So as you can see, when it comes to this mountain, there's like that little glossy looking slide ordeal. The reason why we took out the mock bike and went up with it is because it is technically called a mudslide, and it is impossible to walk up it, and you can't use the acro bike for it. You have to use the mock bike and just go zooming right on into it, meaning that you do have to go from, I think, at least 2 tile distance in order to get the speed to go up it in one go. Alrighty, so with route number 115 fully out of the way now, there's no new Pokemon to go into. That's why I'm not going over the percentages of what you can run into. It's the same as the first time I went through route 115. It's just a little bit further north of it. But now that that's out of the way, I guess you could say that we are got a little bit unlucky here. Again, I decided not to use a Super Repel because I only have a little bit further to go. Run into something immediately. Oh my god, just kill me. But here's our new deal. So we're back in Mauville City, and we see Watson just out in the open. What's going on? Well, he needs us to go to a place called New Mauville City. Or not even city, just New Mauville. Maliville. New whatever the hell it is. And we got to go shut off a generator that's there, because it's causing some problems. Okay? So, where it actually gets bad is like straight from the beginning. So we get a little bit lucky because Trapinch has a relatively low level, and sometimes the Pokemon that you surf on, they have a higher chance of running into you even if you use a Super Repel, but I didn't even want to use one because we are looking to capture something in here. Now, once again, test playthrough, I ran into what I was looking for immediately. But of course that means that in the actual recording, I'm not going to run into it immediately. And I'm going to have all these other run-intos instead. So we already start messing up. We miss the green switch that we have to utilize to open up that door. But to make matters worse, I could have sworn I stopped before hitting that button, and I didn't. And you're going to know that because then when I head back again after re-hitting the switch again, I stop. I'm like, no, we are going to walk it through because I was not supposed to hit that. This is how many times it took me to finally run into the next Pokemon on our team, Magnemite. So, Magnemite, let's go over the stats here. So when we're talking about New Mauville, the very entrance we are at, you have a 50% chance to get a Magnemite or a 50% chance to get a Voltorb. All 3 versions. Once you go into the basement area that we're into, it is a 49% chance for a Magnemite, 49% chance for a Voltorb, 1% chance for a Magneton, and 1% chance for an Electrode. Okay? So basically, I'm looking at a 50-50 of getting the Magnemite that I wanted. That's how many 50-50 coin tosses I lost before getting it. Want to know what's even worse? The very first encounter that I had was the 1% chance to get an Electrode. Not even a Magneton, the Electrode. What? And then the rest of them were all Voltorbs. It took much longer than it should have for me to get Magnemite. But yep, here we are. The electric Pokemon on our team, electric steel type on our team, Magnemite. So why didn't I choose to go with Manectric? I don't think Manectric's all that interesting personally, along with the fact that it's only a pure electric type. And I generally like to go with dual types as best as possible so I can get more coverage and stab moves just to make gym battles and everything a lot easier. So I go my way to get a Magnemite to eventually evolve into a Magneton. I have electricity and I have steel typing. So I'm doing, relatively better because of it. And so, yeah, say hello to Magnemite. He is now a part of the team. I do like Magneton, even though all it is 3 Magnemites connected with one another. But I don't know. I mostly wanted to pick it up because I remember when I was playing this game for the first time back in high school, and I went into this area and I ran into it was a full-on Magneton. Back when I was in high school, I did run into the 1% chance of getting a Magneton, and I was like, hey, I remember this guy from Gen 1. I love this guy. Let's go ahead and throw him on the team. And yeah, ever since then, I've had like a weird connection with having the Gen 1 Magneton on my team on the Gen 3 game. I don't know why but the way I see it is this. I haven't used Magneton yet in a walkthrough, so I'm going to go ahead and use him now. Because really, to me, he's the only electric type that I haven't used yet that actually still kind of interests me. None of the Gen 3 electric type Pokemon really interest me at all. So that's kind of the biggest reason why I go for Magneton. Anyways, like with Gen 2 and even with Gen 1, we have our obligatory, hey, you can run into some Voltorbs that look like a Pokeball, but it's really a Voltorb. 3 of them in the entire area that you can take out, or you can go ahead and catch them if you want to. They're level 25. Completely up to you. Again, for me, if I'm looking to take an electric type from this area, it's going to be a Magnemite or a Magneton, because then you can get the steel typing out of it as well. And I think there's at least one good steel type move in this game. If not, then I'm just completely mistaken. But I get lost all over the place. I'm getting everything wrong here. You know, even this post commentary is not going as smoothly as it really should. Basically, this is the worst video ever of this entire series and run. So of course, we're going to have me go out of my way, not go ahead and hit the switch. We got to run all the way back, because why not? It's already been a bad enough video. Let's keep it going bad. I don't have this mapped out as well as I did with other areas. And for me, it was like, I just got to get this done before I go to work. And then the next day, I will get the audio portion of it done after I'm done with work and call it good. And there we are. There's New Marvel. Honestly, the only reason why you would do New Marvel is because, again, you can get yourself an electric-type Pokemon if you haven't already gotten yourself one, especially if you want a Gen 1 electric-type Pokemon. But the other reason why we do this is because then, when we talk to Watson and he says that, hey, it's all been taken care of, he gives us Thunderbolt, my favorite electric move. So getting a Thunderbolt this early in the game when we just learned Surf is definitely the best, because now we have ourselves a Magnemite that has Thunderbolt, and we have a whole bunch of surfing ahead of us. We're going to be going against a whole mess of surfer Pokemon. Well, surfer trainers with their water type Pokemon. And yeah, it's going to be the perfect area for Magnemite just to become a Magneton. Probably before even my Trapinch becomes a Vibrava. Like, you know, it's crazy how that works. And just to end off the part, here's me running away from the PC because for some reason I thought it had a blue top, so I thought it was the Pokemart. Started to run and I was like, wait, it's not that, because there's the gym. It's just be later. And it was a really, really bad recording. Everything went wrong. But hey, the good news is it can only get better from here. Hope you enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll catch you all in the next part.